When you see the whole world shaking and you feel your heart is breaking, take my hand, no hesitating. When you're just so tired of trying, all alone you feel like hiding. Together we'll keep fighting. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains too high we can climb it. Fearless, we'll take in the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Can you see the sun is shining like a new hope? Feel it rising, coming over the horizon. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains too high we can climb it. Fearless, we'll take in the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. There's no stopping.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I apologize. I put in my newsletter that I was going to have a show last Saturday, July 30th. That also happened to be my 65th birthday. And so, we had a party and, we just was talking a lot and we did some other things. And then the next day we went out to So, in other words, I just got ready to relax and I apologize. I did a repeat. I didn't leave you blank. I did do a show that we did at the beginning of July, which was a good one on government assistance programs. I thought it was worth repeating. But I'm back live. Well, I mean, I'm I'm live. It's about 4:06, and I've been working the whole day, and I want to go for a swim and keep my A1C down. So after I do this, I'm going to go for a swim, and I'm going to be back in time to do a live show at 7 p.m. But it's going to be, it's only like about 3 hours behind. So it's a nice day today. Not as hot. It was a little cloudy this morning, but it's August 6th. And I'm Chris Gargiulo. I am an associate broker for eXp Realty. This is my show, Real Estate with Mr. G.com. That's also, the show is Real Estate with Mr. G. My website is realestateWithMrG.com. And my blog is realestateWithMrG.blog, where I have a lot of interesting articles and resource materials and so forth. Actually, let me put up the caption. So it's how it's spelled, okay? Because, and URL addresses, it has to be one big word, no spaces. So this realestatewithmrg.com, if you're looking at my lower left here, okay, and then the blog would be realestatewithmrg.blog, B-L-O-G, okay? All right, let's go back to what we're going to talk about today, renting versus buying. Even with mortgage rates going up, we're going to see that it's still more affordable to purchase than to rent. Actually, the mortgage rates during the week fell a little bit below 5%. So it's playing around 5%, go back up again. So it's floating around there. But we're around 5. It was just a touch below 5, but we're right now in that range, maybe 5 to 5.5. Okay. And there's a good chance with finding about it with the economy going so well and the job market being great with 525,000 jobs being created. The Federal Reserve is saying, no, we still got to hold back the reins on this economy. And they will most likely increase the Fed funds rate, which in turn affects not directly, but indirectly mortgage rates. So I'm actually getting ahead of myself. I just like to talk a little bit at the beginning, and I'm giving out a whole bunch of information before I show my little preview. So let's get to that. And what are we going to talk about today? Don't you just love that beginning? I mean, isn't it really well put together? All right, hold on, I'm messing this up. Nah. Okay. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there we go. I still have to practice with the soundboard. Yes, thank you very much. That you like my introduction. And for those who are listening on Spotify, those who can't see it, but if you're watching my show on the various social media networks, you will see it. Okay. All right. Well, basically you're hearing it. You're not able to see on Spotify my introduction. But you, all right, never mind. Okay, is this clapping over here? All right, okay. All right. So the question is, with mortgage rates going up, is it still worth purchasing? And we're still not at that point where the rent that you would pay, let's say for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, would be equal to a mortgage payment of that same type of house. So it's still worthwhile to purchase, even though it's a little bit tighter now, right? Because there's a big difference between a mortgage at 5.5% and that 3%. There is, and the higher the price of the house, there's going to be a bigger difference. So let's bring in my my PDF for today. I like it when I make myself a nice little round circle. Let's see if this works. Now we got to bring back this. Let's see if I bring this over here. There we go. I like the circle one. I think that's cute, having me in the circle. And then I don't take up that much of the screen. I wonder if can I move myself? I couldn't move myself in different directions. Look at that. Okay, something else I learned today. All right. So let's look at our PDF for today. This was on my blog site earlier this week. Buying a home may make more financial sense than renting one. If rising home prices leave you wondering, it makes more sense to rent or buy a home in today's housing market. Consider this. It's not just home prices that have risen in recent years. Rental prices have skyrocketed as well. All right, so we have to remember in this whole process, as mortgage rates are going up and home prices are going up, that these rental prices have skyrocketed as well. The median rent across 50 largest U.S. metropolitan areas reached $1,876 in June, a new record level for Realtor.com data for the 16th consecutive month. So this means that rising prices will likely impact your housing plans either way, whether you buy or rent. But there are a few key differences that could make buying a home more worthwhile an option for you. Okay? So if you need more space, buying a home may be more affordable. What you may not realize that according to the latest data from Realtor.com and National Association of Realtors, it may actually be more affordable to buy than rent depending on how many bedrooms you need. The graph below uses the median rental price and median mortgage payments across the country to show why. Okay? So what they do here, they show, as we discussed earlier, this median rental price of $186. Okay? So overall, you will pay more in this example than if you had purchased this house. Now they look at the various size houses. So a studio, okay. Of course, in the studio, if you downsize, you will be paying less, okay. A one bedroom, still a little bit less, but we're getting close to that rental payment. But a two bedroom, you'll be definitely paying more. 2,104, where that base level is 1,876 for a house with the two bedrooms. Now, of course, I'm trying to see if they are comparing this with a two-bedroom house that you are renting. So, of course, a three-bedroom. I mean, if you're renting a house or apartment with three bedrooms, most of the times they are three bedrooms, but all right, we'll keep it two bedrooms. Because majority of homes that I see, of course, are three bedrooms and more. All right, because two-bedroom house, you either have a young family who's just starting out, or you have an older couple who are downsizing. But the magnum of your houses, the medium of your houses will be three bedrooms. All right, it makes more sense for builders to build a house with three bedrooms because they're reaching a larger demographic. All right. So you're still, with the two bedroom, and I'm trying to see if this is also could be perhaps for a three bedroom. But even with a two bedroom, you're saving a little under $300. So as the graph conveys, if you need two or more bedrooms, it may actually be more affordable to buy a home even as prices rise. while this doesn't take into consideration the interest deduction or other financial advantages that come with owning a home, it does help paint the picture that it may be more affordable to buy than rent for that unit size based on nationwide averages. So if one of the factors motivating you to move is a desire for more space, this could be the added encouragement you need to consider with home ownership. So I'm going to move down to here because this is really the importance of it. Number one, if you buy a house and secure a fixed rate mortgage, meaning that mortgage amount or that interest amount will not change, you're a lot better off because rents will go up in most situations. And we're having that problem right now where landlords are increasing their rents like by $500. That's not going to happen if you have a fixed rate mortgage. Now, some things should change, such as the value of your house goes up and you have to pay more in taxes, and your monthly mortgage payment includes the taxes that you're paying for that year divided by 12. So it might go up a little bit because of that. And if things might change with insurance, there may be a change with that, but it's not going to be anything drastic. Let me rephrase it. It shouldn't be anything drastic, as opposed to a landlord raising your rent $500. I've heard up to $1,000. But this is also what's important. When you're buying a house, you're building up equity, all right? And equity is what you own in the home. So you buy a home for $200,000. You put down, let's say you put down $20,000, and maybe 15 years go by, and there's $150,000 of your remaining balance, mortgage balance left. Well, originally, okay, you have $50,000 in equity in the house, but most likely during that time period, the value of your house has increased. So it may now be worth $220,000. So now you have $70,000 worth of equity, and this is good because you could borrow against it if you want to do home improvements, or when you sell, you're yielding a greater profit over it. So no matter what, home ownership is still considered one of the most reliable ways to build wealth. All right, it's always been that way. People who have had homes in their families for decades. I'm thinking of Park Slope, where I came from, where I was born and raised, and when, it's very possible when I was, a young kid, 6, 7 years old, those houses maybe were about $80,000, $100,000, and now they're worth about $4 million, right? So there probably is no way, unless you were very lucky in the stock market. But if you're putting your money into savings accounts and CDs, perhaps treasury bills, no bonds, the chances of you really maybe after 30 years of a $80,000 investment to yield $4 million, that's pretty good. I don't know if you could do that in any other way of investing. Okay, and it brings family wealth. What I wrote down here, and I really talked about building up equity and a tax deduction on interest paid. And the way we have it now, and it hasn't been changed, it has been talked about changing it, but the interest you pay on your mortgage throughout the year, well, you could deduct that against your income. It's tax deductible. Well, a lot of people don't realize, well, a lot of new home buyers, is that the majority of your mortgage payment at the beginning of your loan goes to interest. So if you're paying $1,000 a month at the very beginning of the loan, probably $920 just went to interest. So at the very beginning, you're paying a lot of interest, which is then deductible. Okay. In most situations, I always have to correct that because it might, well, it will lose it. But of course, if you're making lots and lots of money, it's not a way of saying that you will pay no income tax at the end of the year. Excuse me, but it would be lowered. Okay, but I am not. We always have to say this. I am not a tax professional. Please consult your tax professional on this. Okay, generally, it lowers your tax responsibility, and depending on your income and how much you made that year, you might even get a nice refund. Okay, so that's all important stuff. So, and there's so many other good reasons why to. That's not in this article. There's so many good reasons why you should purchase if you're able. And let me make myself nice and big again. And there's a whole bunch of reasons. I mean, when you have a house, if you want to make any type of changes to it, it's your house. You can do what you want. Okay, this spring we redid our bathrooms. All right, if we rented this house, we couldn't have done that. Now, we could have if we asked the landlord, sorry, that's your money, you want to do it, that's fine. But, I may not renew your lease and then rent it and get a heck of a lot more money for the next year. All right. So you have that ability to make the changes, and it's yours. You don't have to ask for permission. You can do what you want when it comes to renovations. Now, if it's something outside and you're in an HOA, you may have to ask for permission for some things. If you're adding on a bedroom, if you're adding on a big porch, there's restrictions there, but you have the ability to do it. Okay, and there's always like a little caveat there. But generally, when you own a home within the interior, you could do what you would like. Okay. And I saw an article this week that said that in the cases where it's better to rent than to buy, you're really, in those cases that he gave, in those examples, you're actually renting something that's smaller. So let's say you had a 3-bedroom, and then it's just you and your significant other, and you say, okay, we could go into a 1-bedroom, pay a lot less, all right, than we would have for a 3-bedroom house, if that's possible. And now you take that extra money and you invest in the market. Okay, you just don't. In other words, you just don't let it go. You have to. There's a second part to that where you have to invest it, and he tells you where to invest, and that's where you may come a little bit ahead. So instead of building equity, you're building up a stock portfolio, a bond portfolio. But in most situations, it's more advantageous to own than to rent. Now, there are some people, and there's nothing wrong with it. If you never become a home buyer, a home owner, if that's your decision, there are some people who don't want to be bothered with repairs, right? They rather call their landlord and saying, the bathroom is clogged. We have a shelf that's came down. Can you fix it? There are people who just don't want to be bothered with those things. They rather, I'll pay you the rent, whatever you want. I just want my apartment to be kept updated, to be repaired quickly. I'm just too busy. I'm too busy to take care of mowing lawns and painting and this and that. And that's fine, okay? Home ownership may not be for everyone, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But if you're able to purchase, if you don't mind taking care of those things, doing those repairs, and something you would want to take on, then home ownership definitely has its advantages. Okay. Okay. So the other things I want to bring up, I think I have a nice little video that I loaded. And did the home of your dreams just come on the market? And the reason why we're showing that because listings are increasing. We're getting more listings right now, which is a good thing. All right. So as for buyers, that's actually a good video because more homes are coming on the market. There's less competition. There's less people fighting over one house. That takes off a lot of stress for home buyers. All right. And you just have that ability to choose. Maybe there'll be 3 different houses you really, really like, and you could say, well, let me think this over and go for the one that really suits our needs. Don't wait too long, but it's nice to have the ability to make a decision on which house is best. It's not like, okay, this one is good, and there's like 10 people who want it. I better put my offer in so I don't lose it. I'm not crazy about the house, but there's not that many out there. I need the house. Let's go for it. It's not like that right now. Okay. And the increase in mortgage rates also helped in that situation because, in all my podcasts, I give that scenario where, when we had the pandemic, and a shortage of homes and mortgage rates were really, really low. You have a big pull, trying to get both hands in the picture here, of buyers, okay? But now with mortgage rates going up, a portion of that buyers have left the market. They're only in there because we're going to get a great sale, okay? That's the only reason why they were in there. They didn't have to buy. They're comfortable with the house they have now. They said, okay, I'm out. I'll make improvements to my own home instead of purchasing. So in that way, you have less competition as well. So you have less competition because of higher inventory and because their buyers are dropping out of the market. So I think this graphic here tells us how things are going for the rest of the year. They're still saying home price appreciation will continue. It's not going to be at the rate that it was last year, but it will still go up. Mortgage rates will respond to inflation. Okay, and we'll see what will happen with the next Federal Reserve meeting. The very good employment market is telling the Federal Reserve we still have to put more of the reins on the economy because we don't, then inflation will be even higher. All right. And see, that's another reason I was thinking that why it's better to buy now than to wait, because even if with mortgage rates being at 5% now, let's put it there. If you wait longer, it's probably going to go up to 6% and over 6%. And houses will be more expensive. So no matter what, it's going to be more expensive in the near future. So it's best to act now. And they're saying home sales will moderate just because of the higher mortgage rates. So it may be a good idea to jump in the market now. Okay. And if you go to my blog, you will be able to download these lovely guides. They come out 4 times a year. This is these things to consider selling your house, the summer 2022 edition, and the things to consider when you buy a home, the summer 2022 edition as well. All right. And where do you get these wonderful things from? You go to my blog, look down here, realestateWithMrG.blog/resource-materials. But if you just go to my blog site, realestateWithMrG.blog, and you click on the tab Resource Materials, they'll be there, and you could download them for free. Okay? So all good stuff. But it doesn't mean you do this on your own. You'll buy a house on your own. You'll sell a house. It's a guide to help prepare you, and then you call and you contact Mr. G. Okay? All right, let's show my face again. And I think our producer, William, says we have a special guest in the audience again. Tell us about this special guest, William.
Chris, great news. We have a celebrity in the audience. He is an extraordinarily intelligent dolphin that helps enforce regulations in the preserve, assists Puerto Rics with rescues at sea, and keeps a watchful eye on Sandy and Bud, whom he has rescued or helped rescue from danger on numerous occasions. Ladies and gentlemen, America's Flipper.
That was amazing that Flipper came and brought his own tank, and it was nice seeing Flipper again. All right, that's our show for today. Hope you have a great week. I know it's been hot. I think maybe by the end of the week it'll be in the upper 80s instead of in the 90s. But hold on for a second. Okay. But be kind to each other. All right. Be nice. And remember, the greatest power we have is to love, and the greatest gift, each other. And I'll see you next week.